Hey everybody, welcome back to Mr. Global's channel. I haven't been on YouTube much recently. I've been on a road trip doing some public speaking. Before I get started on the subject of this video, please do me a favor and like and subscribe if you don't mind. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate all my new followers. A lot has happened. A lot has happened since I've been on the road, and I haven't been able to keep up with it as well as I would like to. But I almost don't know where to begin, honestly. You know, this Epstein thing seems to be spiraling and getting worse. I honestly thought people would forget about it and it would go away. But that's not happening at all. No, that's not happening. And what I was so confused about, honestly, everyone wants someone to be held accountable, just not Donald Trump. Anybody but Donald Trump, right? Because even if Donald Trump does something, someone else has to lose their job for it. Because that's how it works. I don't know why that's how it works, but that's how it works. But so everybody wanted Pam Bundy out. And the thing that really just blew my mind about that was this idea, and I'm no fan of Pam Bundy, trust me. I'm very, very far from it. But they wanted her out, and they were celebrating the idea that Matt Gaetz was going to be appointed during a recess. And let's keep in mind, he still could be. He still could be, okay? You know, everyone is saying that, you know, from the administration that this is over with. They don't want to talk about it anymore. Donald Trump could absolutely fire Pam Bundy and put Matt Gaetz in there as a recess appointment. He can still do that. The recess hasn't started yet that I'm aware of. Seeing Republicans celebrate the idea of Matt Gaetz, because according to them, they want justice served for the victims of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And they're only thinking about the kids. They care about the kids. They want to see justice served. I guess my question is, if the only thing you are concerned about is seeing justice served in a case that involves trafficking of children, crimes against children, all these kind of things, right? Sexual crimes against children. If that is your, you know, fight, if that's what you are demanding, then why on earth would you want a child trafficker to be the person investigating and prosecuting that case? That's the part I don't understand. Matt Gaetz was slated to be the Attorney General, and he stepped down, likely because of the Epstein list. Understand something. They knew they were going to say there was no Epstein list back then. They already knew that. And they knew that it would look really bad if Matt Gaetz was the Attorney General on national TV saying there is no Epstein list, because he is a known offender of children. It is known. So he had to step down. He had to. He didn't have a choice. It's like it occurred to them, oh, wait a minute. How are we going to make Matt Gaetz the Attorney General when we have to come out and say there's not an Epstein list? And this was happening back in, you know, February. This was happening like nearly 6 months ago. Matt Gaetz didn't step down because he wouldn't get the votes. We know that they would have voted in favor of his nomination. We know that because they voted in favor of Kash Patel and Kristi Noem and every other completely and unbelievably, Pete Hegseth. They voted in favor of every utterly incompetent person that Donald Trump nominated. Why wouldn't they vote for Matt Gaetz? So the only reason Matt Gaetz stepped down was because it was going to look much, much, much worse when that day comes that they come out and say there's not an Epstein list. They have known from the beginning. They have known from the beginning they were not going to release the Epstein list. And that is why Matt Gaetz had to step down. He would have passed the sniff test in Congress. He would have. Everyone else did. Why wouldn't he? Why in the world are you celebrating the thought of putting someone like Matt Gaetz in charge of a case like that? I don't know if these people live on the same planet that you and I live on. I feel like they don't. I feel like they don't, Putting Matt Gaetz in charge of that would, that would be like, putting Ted Bundy in charge of the Dahmer investigation, basically. You know what I mean? Like, seriously. And they celebrated it, and they were excited about it. And then it didn't happen, and now they're upset. And listen, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it can. There's definitely a possibility. It can absolutely happen. And if it does, watching all of these Republicans celebrate a known offender of children investigating an offender of children. They're unbelievably clueless. What can I say? Unbelievably clueless. Let me know what you think in the comments, please. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this segment. I'm back in the saddle, back in action. I'm going to be creating a lot of content in the coming days. I really appreciate you guys. Please like and subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks.